Okay, so I am here with Pete Freitag. Pete is owner of Foundeo Inc. So Pete, what are the steps do you take to protect ColdFusion applications against modern cybersecurity threats?
So there's really so many different things to look for these days. So having like good secure coding policies. I think one thing that can help, just like a general thing, that is just to do more validation. The more validation you do in your code, the more likely you might end up blocking things. But then there's also certain things, areas where you want to be extra careful, like dealing with files, file uploads, those types of things. And of course, databases, SQL injection.
So do you have any sort of instructions which you can a developer can look at somewhere, these are the things which you are supposed to follow?
Yeah, I do have. Let's see. So in terms of server admin, there's the ColdFusion lockdown guides which I've written. Those Adobe hosts, but on Foundeo, and I can give you the link to this. I've started writing up some security guides, which are like just general, more for developers on some of the different coding things.
Okay.
And then of course using tools like my company has Fixinator, which is a code security scanner, which you can run to scan through all of your source code, and that will give you a whole bunch of things to look at.
So what sort of security protocols does your cloud solutions offer to protect the ColdFusion applications in the distributed environments?
In distributed environments?
Yes.
So what do you mean? Like what?
So say somebody's maybe moving from a server to cloud.
Yeah.
What sort of do you have any products which can help them secure the environments?
Yeah, there's HackMyCF, which is a ColdFusion server security scanner, which is going to, when you set up a new server, it's a good thing to run on it because it can look for various things like you might have misconfigured, like if you're leaving something exposed that shouldn't be exposed. Okay. So it can help you kind of like on that initial setup. But beyond that, I would say use the lockdown guides, and if you're going to a cloud provider, sometimes there's additional tools there that they can use. My company has a WAF that's written in ColdFusion called FuseGuard, but also there's a lot of the cloud providers have WAFs as well, which you can layer on top of that as well. And those might not be as specific to ColdFusion, but they're kind of like a general purpose web application.
Okay. And you mentioned somewhere that when we are doing the security things, we need to worry about the file uploads as well, right?
Yeah.
So what do you what should we look for
in a file upload? Sure. So always check the file extension. Make sure it's a extension that you want to allow to be uploaded. So for example, if you're not checking the file extension, maybe somebody's going to try to upload like a CFM file and put that in your photos directory, and then they can just run that CFM file, for example. So that's definitely a good one to check. And then like the accept attribute on the CF file tag, for example, there's various ways around that. So you don't want to fully rely on that, where you say like with a MIME type image / JPEG or image / PNG, you could still find ways of uploading a CFM file, even if you're specifying those MIME types. So it's better to use, and actually in the CF file tag, you can pass in a list of file extensions in the accept attribute. And then the third thing for file uploads would be make sure that your initial destination is outside of the web root. So that gives you a chance to actually check the file, do some validation before you're moving it, if you are going to move it into the web root. Because sometimes there's also attacks where before you have a chance to delete the file, the attacker might try and execute that file really quickly. So that can be another type of thing.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, so I use something like get temp directory as the destination, and then you do all your validation checks on it and move it over.
Okay. Thank you, Pete.
You're welcome.